From the south, we head west, where the regional bloc Ecowas, threatened by the exit of three coup-hit nations of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, tried to win back the trust of the junta leaders by convening a special summit in Nigeria's capital of Abuja. So far, sanctions against Guinea and Niger have been lifted, and the member states are extending an olive branch to the military commanders in the region not to put their people in jeopardy. Will dialogue prevail? That answer only lies with the junta regimes. Here's a report.
It was a gathering convened in a huff in Abuja, Nigeria. Heads of state from the Economic Community of West African States, Ecowas, arrived in the Nigerian capital for an extraordinary summit to discuss the situation in Niger that has been under sanctions for 7 months. After various meetings, the regional bloc made a resolution announcing the lifting of travel and economic sanctions on Niger. The move was aimed at reversing last year's coup in the country in a new push for dialogue. The bloc also renewed calls on 3 junta-led nations to reverse their decisions to quit the regional bloc.
Suspension of all commercial and financial transactions between Ecowas member states and Niger is to be lifted. This decision is based on humanitarian considerations, especially as we are in the month of Lent and as we prepare for the holy month of Ramadan.
Elite soldiers had toppled Niger's democratically elected President Mohamed Bazoum on July 26 last year. Neighboring countries immediately shut their borders, and Niger lost 70% of its power as Nigeria cut off its electricity supply. West African countries suspended financial and commercial transactions. Niger's assets in external banks were frozen as millions of dollars in aid was withheld. The sanctions, however, emboldened the junta in Niger and 2 other coup-hit countries of Mali and Burkina Faso. All 3 formed an alliance and announced last month that they have quit the 15-member bloc. Analysts call the withdrawal the bloc's biggest crisis since it was formed in 1975. None of the conditions that ECOWAS earlier put for the lifting of the sanctions have been met. This includes ECOWAS's request for releasing Niger's deposed president, as well as a short timeline for the junta to return power to the civilians.
The complexity of the issues at hand necessitate a comprehensive and collaborative approach. Accordingly, it is incumbent upon also to engage in constructive dialogue, exercise prudent judgment, and work collectively towards finding enduring solutions that will lead to a sustainable peace, security, as well as political stability in our region.
The bloc also invited the junta-led countries' officials to technical and consultative meetings of ECOWAS and all security-related meetings. This marked a major shift from its usual tradition of blocking coup-hit countries from major meetings. The summit came at a critical time when the 49-year-old bloc's future is under threat. The bloc is struggling with possible disintegration and a recent surge in coups fueled by discontent with elected governments whose citizens rarely benefit from mineral resources. ECOWAS has emerged as West Africa's top political and economic authority, but it has struggled to resolve the region's most pressing challenge, the Sahel. This is a vast and arid expanse south of the Sahara Desert that stretches across several West African countries. The Sahel region faces growing violence from Islamist extremists and rebels that in turn has caused soldiers to depose elected governments. The 9 coups in West and Central Africa since 2020 have followed a similar pattern. Coup leaders have accused governments of failing to provide security and good governance. Most of the coup-hit countries are also among the poorest and least developed in the world. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.